So here's your aftermath after the no contest is declared. Also, check out how cool the ring announcer Valdemir Costa is. Him and Goddard's got this on lockdown.
Loading up now.
Mark Goddard's the MMA MVP of the weekend. Goddard had to deal with two of the shitty.
Wow, son. That's like LeGarrette Blunt style right there.
Well, I mean, he's actually facing him at least.
Yeah,
I mean, Norman Park's at least facing the right way.
I like that fadeaway after landing that one too. That fadeaway was nice.
I'm not saying that this is a righteous way to act either, but like Norman Park is in the middle of his cage. He's surrounded by Mateusz Gamrot's cornermen. What does he think is gonna happen?
Oh man, I gotta watch that again. Oh man, he pieced him up.
like Norman Park, you're not even Irish. You're Northern Irish. Dublin doesn't have your back like this. This is a KSW show. Also, I saw the crowd. It was all Polish people who live in Ireland.
What up, everybody, and welcome to yet another Sound of Violence podcast. This is Pulver, and I am here yet again with my co-host, Chris Madaffer. What up, dude?
Yo. Here and alive.
That's right. Fucking last week of Sober October. Pretty excited about that. Real tired of doing this show sober.
Congratulations on your trek.
Yeah, it's been brutal. Not really hard, just real boring. But I should also mention, this week in studio, we also have Trevor, who's been on the podcast before. What up, dude?
What's up?
How's it going?
Also known as The Prophet or The Drunk Prophet.
Oh, that's right. Who did you go with? I forget what that was. You nailed like 2 or 3 picks on that card, I think. I don't know if you've actually missed a pick on
year ago that was UFC 200 in June. That was like a year and a half ago. Yeah, man, he nailed all those picks. Got Lesnar and everything. Yeah, against Park. Yeah, that was
crazy.
Sick.
So, if you guys don't know what this show normally, we go through and we talk about the MMA podcast we've been listening to, just to save everybody some goddamn time, because I know there are a ton of shows out there. And we just try and find some ones that we think people should check out. So every week me and Chris each give a I'm high. Jesus Christ. I've had way too much caffeine and I'm high as shit. So each week we give out a catch, a skip, and a can't miss, as well as a new show. Which, did you get to a new show this week? Yes or no?
I can't remember, actually.
Don't worry, I always got one. So we will jump into format now that I've rambled on enough. So also we'll have Trevor jump in on some random podcast stuff at the end, because I know he has actually listened to at least a Fight Companion recently. So we'll talk to him about that in a bit. But Chris, what's the podcast you recommend people check out?
Yeah, my if I can find it. Oh yeah, my catch this week is Anik and Florian. Haven't listened to them in a while. I like this one a lot because they brought in Ray Longo's Minute, they always have. But before that, they kind of just started off basically talking about will Khabib Nurmagomedov take the Edson Barboza fight. Apparently, Barboza has signed his end of the contract. He's waiting for Khabib to sign his end.
We'll see.
And that shit will be on at UFC 219, which is already a stacked fucking card.
I mean, that's if Khabib signs a contract, and if Khabib
and he has the worst manager in all of MMA, so It's a long shot.
He's up there. He's
Is
at least
is
tied.
Ali the worst, or is it Malkickel?
Yeah, that's the point.
He's
it's a
the
tie,
worst.
probably.
It's a tie. Okay.
Well, I guess one's associated with a warlord, so I guess he's probably worse.
Yeah. They talked about the gorilla, Darren Till, made the best of his opportunity, and Dana White has called him the future. Yes, I agree 100%.
People are super high on Darren Till
We'll
right
go into
now.
more detail a little later when we review Gdansk's fight card from last week.
That's right.
They were talking about Till, blah, 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 had the pressure. Yeah, we'll talk about it more. Basically, they said as far as Cowboy goes, he needs to start looking at his matchups more carefully, kind of more preparing for style matchups instead of just taking fights because he wants to get money.
That's what Brendan Schaub's been telling him to his face on podcasts for like a year now, I think.
Then they brought on it wasn't the Fury Fight Picks guy, but it was some other gambling guy, or excuse me, betting odds guy.
It's a guy I know the name of. Here, keep going. I'll
he
pull it
said
up.
John Lineker versus Marlon Chito Vera. Lineker is a huge betting favorite, but take Vera for the points. Kind of like that.
Yeah.
They said Damian Maia is actually the underdog in his fight against Colby Covington. Mm-hmm. But that's perfect that he's the underdog because that makes the most sense if you're a betting person.
Gabe Killian is the guy.
That's right.
I believe. Who's the comic, by the way, if you guys don't know.
Ray Longo called in and says he wants to hurt John Anik for being a Red Sox fan and making fun of the Yankees. John Anik put out a video and had a little elimination party when the Yankees got eliminated by the Astros last week.
Yeah,
So,
baseball, y'all.
Yeah, baseball. So if you're watching baseball, it's actually a good series so far. It's tied 1-1. I know no one gives a fuck besides me who's saying this right now, so that's all I'll say about that.
We live in a city
Anyways.
that kind of cures you being a fan
Well,
of baseball.
I'm a Padres fan, so I'm a professional Dodgers hater too.
Right.
So
I'm
used to the Padres being terrible.
Yeah.
I know that. Trust me. I
You're
relish
also
in that. Yeah.
professional being a fan of someone who constantly lets you down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's see. And then their guest, Justin Flores, was on. He's a world-renowned judo practitioner, I guess you call him.
Yep.
And he has coached Ronda Rousey in the past, Jessica Penne, BJ Penn, a shitload of different people.
Oh, I didn't know Jessica Penne was on that list. That's cool.
He trains in San Diego.
Works with Tiff Timebomb, too.
Yeah, where the fuck did he say... Fuck, I can't remember the name of the goddamn place.
Me neither.
Oh, BJJ Palace?
Studio 540 was one of the ones he works with.
Okay, and he was talking about what was interesting to me is, of course, also judo practitioners. He grew up training with Manny Gambirin and his cousin, Carl Parisian, when they were 16, and he used to go to Tijuana for tournaments.
Yep.
That sounds
They used to
pretty
beat
wild.
up grown-ass men.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Manny, all of like 5'2" of Manny.
Yeah, that's he's just probably like, bro, the whole time.
Right.
So, that's all I got for Anik and Florian, but that's definitely my catch for this week. It was pretty entertaining.
Sweet, dude. Let's see. So my catch for this week was I went with Press Row, which actually I should mention the intro you guys heard is Ant Walker dying laughing during the Jordan Breen show, looking at the clip of Norman Park getting decked with a left by a corner man. That shit was hilarious. KSW is wild as fuck. And goddamn, Norman Park and that dude hate each other.
Wait, was that on last week at the same time as the Donks card?
I think it was early in the morning, or like afternoonish. I think it started like 3 or something.
They probably didn't have it at the same arena, did they?
No, it was in Dublin.
Oh, because it's a Polish promotion.
Yeah,
so
but they
it's
went to
always-
Dublin for that one. Which is hilarious because Norman Park was.
Oh,
like-
because Northern Park's Northern Irish.
Yeah, as you
that's
guys heard Jordan Breen joke about in the intro. Like, yo, the crowd doesn't have your back like that, dog. You're from Northern Ireland. It was just hilarious. And fucking Norman Park getting decked was brutal. And Ant Walker.
I forgot that dude got cut. Did he get cut because he lost a lot in a row, or was
He
hurt?
had a couple of tough decisions.
Because I swear that
and-
dude won tough.
Yeah, he should have been kept around. He's one of those guys that everyone's like, why the fuck? But he got paid well by KSW because they throw out some motherfucking money.
There you go.
I mean, they had the biggest attendance for an MMA promotion of all time.
Oh yeah, it was
for,
like 70,000.
Yeah, KSW Coliseum.
That's insane.
Where it was like that. There's fucking tanks driving out, like just chaos. But anyway, I wanted to jump into Press Row, which is the other show that Jordan Breen does. And this week he had on Dave Doyle to talk about Conor calling Andre Fili a faggot over and over again. If you guys don't know, Dave Doyle is gay, and he's an MMA reporter. So Breen had him on to talk about the whole situation. Dave Doyle brought up a couple interesting things. One was that Ari Emanuel has been super silent. Like, he hasn't said shit. Like, the UFC as a promotion hasn't made any real statements.
They should
like,
have said something by now, Mike.
yeah, it's pretty sketchy. They're just for sure trying to sweep it under the rug, which is hilarious because they were the ones that tweeted it out in the first place. But it's just interesting hearing Dave Doyle's opinion on it, and hearing that dude talk about it. He also jokes around about being called a racist homophobe by trolls on Twitter before anyone knew he was gay.
That's
and he's like
super ironic.
literally showing the I forget. I think it was.
That's just a fucking super oxymoron.
Yeah, and he was showing the Latino dude he was dating the tweets, being like, "What the fuck? So wrong, bro." Also, they joked around about Josh Thompson's old crazy comments he used to say about gay marriage all the time, because Josh Thompson has some crazy ass views. And they just overall talked about how the UFC should have handled the situation versus the way they actually did. I thought it was just it was an honest conversation that you don't hear a lot of. And Breen's always funny and ties it back in. And Dave Doyle wasn't preachy at all about it either. He's like, listen, like, do I think it's a humongous deal? No, but should they probably make a statement, like, to be like, yo,
of course, they should at least acknowledge it.
Yeah, be like, yo, hey, don't call people faggot, dog. You're losing us and yourself a lot of money. Shut your mouth.
Yeah, because, I mean, I listened to Submission Radio. They had Andre Fili on there, and Casper and Dennis asked him about... Hey,
they asked him if he was a faggot.
Well, they didn't say that. They just asked me, what do you think about that? And he's basically like, oh, well, you know, as I interpreted it as Connor was just trying to just console his friend and just make him feel better. And he said, I know he didn't literally mean it in a derogatory way. He's like, I don't give a fuck, because literally what Andre Fili was saying.
Yeah.
And if someone said that, I probably would say that too. But he still says like you shouldn't really be saying that either way. I agree. Yeah. That's just me.
Especially when you're calling people boy like 6 months ago.
Yeah. So it's not looking good for Conor McGregor's image. But either way, the UFC is going to sweep it under the rug like they pretty much already have.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I just thought it was a fun, interesting conversation, and, like, I feel like a lot of people touched on it, but I felt like that was probably the most qualified podcast to do so, and it was they both had takes that I hadn't heard a lot of other places. So now that we got into a decent podcast, Chris, what podcast do you recommend people skip this week?
For me, it's Unfiltered, episode 141.
Perfect, I totally skipped that episode.
Yeah, Andrew Gdansk, he's a guy, I can't even remember what he does, really. I think he does, like, some podcasts for someone. I actually kind of zoned out because I was at work listening to this one.
It's cool. What's up?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what's up, dude?
I gotta fucking go meet up with Duran.
Dude, no worries, dude. If you want to
get
going, get going, dude. No worries.
I didn't want to interrupt you.
No worries,
dude. We can cut this out.
Hey, well, wait.
No.
Do you have 1 minute to talk about Joe Rogan Fight Companion?
Sure, yeah. I can do that.
So, what do you think about
it? For the Fight Companion?
Because you watched one for the dance card, right?
Be honest, yeah. So, God, I can't remember his name. What is it? Something.
Brennan Schaub? Oh,
no,
Darren Till.
Darren Till,
Cowboy from Liverpool.
Yeah. So Darren Till in the Cowboy fight, from what I was hearing, I mean, it just sounded like fucking Darren Till came out and 100% wanted it and went hard against Cowboy in the first round when he's usually slow starting. And I mean, basically, he did the perfect fight against him, came hard against him, and didn't allow Cowboy to have space to stand back and land strikes.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's always funny hearing those dudes too, because Brennan Schaub's like such good friends with Cowboy, and he gets so emotionally involved in it.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, this isn't good for Cowboy the whole time.
You can
out.
tell that Brennan Schaub is definitely affected. Definitely biased, obviously, for Cowboy.
So did you watch the fight? Or did you listen to it?
I only got to listen to it. Yeah.
Yeah, because we watched it. Of course, Schaub was probably like this the whole time.
Yeah, with his fucking super awful cross legs and everything.
Right. That's what he does.
Yeah, it's brutal.
At any rate, I mean, it's a bummer to hear Cowboy losing like that again, but I mean, he went up. It was interesting the way they described it, though, and it's kind of true, right? It was it was a big win for Darren Till, and there wasn't a lot of anything for Cowboy to win anyways. Even if he beat Darren Till, like he beat up this up-and-comer, he's an unranked,
he's a prospect.
No name, for like most of the MMA fans, I guess. Well, not the hardcore fans, but like. Just like as far as popularity, he's not out there. His name isn't out there yet, so.
For sure. And I don't know how much beating Donald Cerrone on FightPass gets your name out there either, though. But yeah,
I guess like 40,000 people, but.
Yeah, still. But pretty dope, dude. And overall, do you like the Fight Companions? Like, do you try and catch those over the regular Rogan podcasts, or you just happen to catch that one? Or?
I just listened to that one because I listened recently to a pretty funny one with Brennan Schaub and Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
So I was like, honestly just saw, Eddie Bravo and Brennan Schaub
It's a
and
good
Joe Rogan,
combo.
so I was like, I knew it would be an interesting podcast, and I know we have an interesting card coming up with 217, so.
For sure, dude. Yeah, we may have to get some of your picks for that before that comes up, but we'll let you go, dude, because
Yeah.
I know you got to run. But I appreciate you stopping by, and y'all can check out. I'll plug something of Trevor's in the description. I don't know what. I'll figure out something. But anyway, we'll get back to Chris. What was your skip for this week?
It's gonna be Unfiltered,
That's
episode
right.
141. I'll be honest. Andrew Dank's on here. I didn't really know much about this guy, except for that he kind of does a lot of production for this one podcast, and I feel kind of rude because I don't really remember what the name of the podcast was. You know what? Fuck, dude. I actually blinked out on him. What I do remember, apologies, of course, is...
No apologies. It's a good reason to be a skip if you can't remember what the people who
goddamn.
talked.
I mean, Duke Rufus was on there. We all know Duke Rufus, kickboxing extraordinaire. One thing I didn't know about him, he said lots of his fighters, like Anthony Pettis, their Showtime moves that they do are inspired by Rufus's love for movies. Apparently he mentioned the
see
movie
that.
Ong Bak, with Tony Jaa.
Yep.
Dude, all that shit jumping off elephants or jumping off the walls, a lot of that Anthony Pettis took away from watching those movies. Apparently he made I don't think he made his fighters watch the movies, but I guess he put movies on during training.
Dude.
And some of the fighters would be like, hey, that looks dope.
Yeah,
And
I'm
then,
not
like,
surprised.
I
He's an
doubt
old-
Tyron Woodley is going to be doing any jumps off the
I
cage,
don't know
but
about that. But
know,
I'm not surprised because Duke's an old school kickboxing dude. Like, actually, there's a classic clip of him cornering his brother, and and his brother lost because of leg kicks. Because this is like when Muay Thai first started coming over, and Duke Rufus is talking about like, oh, leg kicks are bullshit. Fucking, it's not real fighting, all this stuff. And then nowadays, he's like gone back on it, of course.
yeah.
You're like, no, I just didn't know at the time. It was the fucking 80s. Like,
and
but
then
pretty funny.
yeah, Matt asked him, what would you say your toughest fight is? What was the toughest fight for Tyron? I think he said it was the first fight against Wonder Boy, because they were both so tentative. Obviously, there was an exciting fight because Woodley ended up getting in that guillotine, and he escaped, and he said it was just that. Like, he knew how to prepare for Wonder Boy, but he didn't realize how kind of quick and defensive Wonder Boy would be.
Yeah.
Like, when backing up and kind of just... He has pretty long legs. He thought it was more of his reach in his legs. He had to anticipate that.
Right.
And he said the Maya fight, he says initially on paper, that was going to be the toughest on... that was going to be the toughest on paper, but the fact he had Ben Askren, he said, basically saved their camp.
Yep.
And it was because they said if he
100%.
didn't have him, it would have been in a totally different fight.
That's why I picked him in that fight.
Yeah.
We were talking about that on the
Yeah.
podcast a lot. Like,
Yeah,
dude,
he was just saying Ben's
underrated.
the best in the business, basically, as
Yeah.
far as just like wrestling, anything like that.
you can't fuck with Ben Askren's wrestling. Like, there's a reason why he doesn't even bother to stand with people. It's because he doesn't have to.
And then the main reason why this is my skip, unfortunately, because they had Leota Machida on, but it sounded like he was underwater. Very bad shit quality.
I mean, he is in Brazil. So.
We'll see, Matt kind of made... He wasn't trying to be a dick, but he's like, oh, well, they are... Or no, I think it was Jim.
Yeah.
He's like, well, they are in Brazil, so it's not like they have great reception or some
Yeah.
shit. And it's like, as they're talking to Leota, he's like, what? I'm like, oh, you still there? He just went like, what? You know what I mean?
The production in that show is good but bad all at once.
Hey, Chris the producer! You got him on?
Chris the producer. You give my coffee, Chris the producer?
Yeah, pretty much.
I do like Matt Serra a whole bunch, which actually will come up a bit later. But yeah, I could definitely see why that was a skip.
So how about you?
So for my skip this week, I'll be honest, it was almost Ariel Helwani's show. However, I didn't use it as my skip.
Or...
No. So I was going to use it as my skip because there is about a fucking 3-minute pause of silence in that goddamn show after Musashi. When he's trying to figure out where Till's at.
Oh, yeah, I
It
remember
is so
that. 'Cause Till got
motherfucking brutal.
It is.
that
What was he talking
stopped
about again?
No, he was trying to read a text because he kept getting texts from Eric the producer or somebody saying like...
New York Rick or something?
Or yeah, New York Rick.
Oh, dude, yeah, I fast forwarded through that.
Yeah, because it was like the 3-minute goddamn pause of Ariel being like starting a sentence and then just pausing and clearly reading and being like, wait, sorry, they're sending me messages.
Yeah, dude, because I was
And
like,
it just
this
kept
is on
going
this is on Tuesday. I was like, dude,
Yeah.
what the fuck is going on?
There was like a 2-minute pause
so I just
of
pressed,
silence.
like the 15-second skip.
Yeah.
I just pressed like a million times.
See,
I was like, oh shit.
I stopped listening to the show after that because I was like, fuck this. If Ariel can't be bothered to do his show, I can't be bothered to listen to his show. So I heard Gegard Mousasi talk about how he has a long one and people can get in line to suck it.
Yeah,
and then I tapped
when I
out.
heard that.
So that was going to be my skip, but since I didn't actually listen to it, so I don't know what's on it, I am instead going with Fight Society, their episode from October 24th. I really like Damon Martin. I actually kind of like the show, but his fucking co-host, Jeremy Loper, goddamn kills me.
Oh, that kind of name.
Yeah, no.
More like Jared Doper.
Yeah, we'll get to it. They open talking about local Ohio soccer, which is like, whatever.
Wait. When I think Ohio, either I think clearly the Cavaliers, or I think wrestling.
Right.
So why the fuck are they talking about soccer, which according to Kenny Goddamn Powers, it's not even a sport?
True. No, it's because the owner of that team said they were going to go to Austin if they didn't get more support. And so they were talking shit on the owner.
Karen, you agree, right? Soccer's not a sport? I'm kidding.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Yeah, no,
We're American.
That's right, America.
We know, kind of like Chelsea a little bit.
Who's Chelsea, bro? See what I did there?
Manchester United.
All right,
you fucking
down.
what, mate?
Yeah. Tone it down, Darren Till. Oh my God. Do you look a little bit? You do look a little bit like Paige Van Zandt,
if it was Darren Till, it'd be like Liverpool,
Really?
all the way.
Oh God, we're off topic. Anyway, so Jeremy Loper also kept doing his fucking morning radio voice, and it reminded me a ton of the dude from Okamoto's podcast.
Wait. Who did them?
Jeremy Loper, the co-host to Damon Martin.
The Fight Society?
Yeah, because he dude just reminds me a ton of the guy
Arda?
from Arda from Okamoto's podcast. So they just do that like morning radio bit, blah. And Loper just kept saying stupid shit. Like he kept focusing on how Donald didn't shave his hair. So that's probably why he lost. He's
Dude,
like,
okay.
He's not focused. He didn't shave his head.
What is
it? He said it like 8 times.
I think it was Colmaine. I think it was Chad. He's like, yeah, you notice Donald didn't shave his head. You could see his receding hairline now.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Mike Swick actually talked about his receding hairline this week and how he learned about it from one of the little action figures they made. They're like, Jesus Christ, they made the hairline so ridiculous. He looked in the mirror. He's like, God damn it. Pretty funny. Anyway, so there was actually a bunch of good stuff on this show if you can get through all the Loper bullshit. But Loper says a lot of weird, dumb shit like, FightPass should do a hunting show with Donald Cerrone. Because fucking the thing Endeavor wants to do is go pay a shitload of money for a crew to follow Donald Cerrone around to hunt.
You're no Joe Rogan, let's go.
It's just a terrible, yeah. Joe Rogan is a different thing. That show,
dude, just get him, Chad Mendez. Fuck it, get Brock Lesnar on there, dude.
You can just do Joe Rogan with all the different fighters in different areas. That shit, I would watch that show actually. And I don't even fucking like hunting.
I remember I saw a thing with Brock Lesnar hunting an elk with a bow. Dude, like he's so fucking strong, like silverback gorilla strength. Person. Dude, he picked up the fucking like 300-something pound elk by the goddamn antlers with one arm and just dragged it out of this fucking like goddamn lake.
Dude's a goddamn albino bear.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Polar bear.
Yeah, that is. You're right. It's basically
he's a
goddamn polar bear.
He's a fucking polar bear. There we go.
Pretty much. So there actually was some good stuff. Ioanni and Jacek called in while riding her bike to talk about 217. She's literally riding around in Florida.
Was she gassed out halfway through?
No, she had such good cardio. You couldn't even tell she was riding a bike.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Checks out.
She says it's going to be her best performance, and this is where a lot of the crazy clips that she said came from.
I believe it.
Yeah, she said about Rose that she's very sneaky and tricky, which is a super Joanna thing to say.
Mentally unstable?
She did say that during the face-off. That's true. To be fair, she does look like 11.
Yeah.
Which I thought about this week, and Rose does look like 11, but she looks like if 11 was from Bakersfield.
Yeah.
Which I would also say, Rose, also a Bakersfield 11. So it really ties together.
Shots fired.
That's right. I'm not looking up at girlfriend Karen, who's frowning at me because someone in the room is from Bakersfield. All right, so back to my awesome point. Try not to. I'm getting.
By the way, shouts out to unofficial sponsor Stranger Things Season 2 coming out this Friday.
That's right. I'm hyped about that. I'm not even gonna lie. Also, shouts out to the game Cuphead, which I'm gonna play this weekend because that shit
I
looks
need to
dope.
get that, dude, because it's fucking co-op couch.
Yeah.
Couch co-op.
It's crazy too. Anyway, back to this shit. So yeah, Joanna says a bunch of crazy shit. And she seems so goddamn hyped. She says shit like, "There's no time for makeup and covers and photo shoots. This is just time for there's just time for being beat up every day." It's like they can bring in the best
By
fucking
the
coaches
way,
from
I'm not
Street
sure
Hawker
what
in
number it is,
Thailand.
but is this her 5th or 6th title defense?
She's breaking the record for female title
So
defenses.
this is number
I think
7
it's
then, because 6 is Rousey.
Yeah, I think she's breaking the record. Yeah, it's something like that.
Okay.
I'm going off of what Dana said, so that's probably wrong.
Right.
Just knowing him. So Loper comes back on to talk to Damon Martin, and it gets real bad. Loper starts complaining about morning radio guys doing morning radio bits when he literally sounds like a morning radio dude, and he constantly asks shitty morning radio questions. I was just real upset. And then Colby Covington called in and just burned everything to the ground. He threw mad shade at Damien. He threw mad shade at Tyron. He called Dean Thomas the coach of the women's team in the Amis at ATT. He just shit on everyone. He literally just burned the whole place down.
I have more of that later.
Yeah. Fucking Jesus. Colby Covington is just torching everybody. And then fucking, of course, Loper does a show with his wife that he describes as a rock and roll road trip show. So, for sure, but you hate morning radio stuff, evidently, Loper. So, I say it's my skip. The interviews are totally worth checking out. No other part of that podcast is worth checking out.
Did they have the Friday morning fart song?
I mean, if Loper could have gotten it in, I think he would have. Which is a bummer, because I really like Damon Martin. I really like the show he used to do with Matt Brown. That show is awesome. Jeremy Loper, not the biggest fan. And you know what? His first name might not even be Jeremy. I think it's Jeremy, but I'm not 100% positive. I know it's Loper. But yeah, that guy, he just kind of, that bummed me out on that show. But good interviews, though. So what's your can't miss for this week?
You're going to hate this. It's not the whole podcast. Part of it.
The Fortnight?
MMAR.
Yep.
But
The MMA
the reason
hour-long
why
pause?
the one that made it worth it was Colby Covington. And I'll explain why.
Hey, let me guess, he lit everything on fire?
Pretty much. Okay. So, he said if people want to see him win or get knocked out, he relishes that, just like Justin Gaethje says that, just like a bunch of other fighters say that.
Yep.
He says he likes to talk shit, not because he's an asshole, but because he likes to stir the pot up. I get that. If I was a fighter, you know me, I mean, whatever, I'm not an asshole, at least I don't think I am, but I would fucking talk shit out of the norm just to stir stuff up.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. Get attention to yourself. I get that. He says he thinks he deserves a title shot after he beats Maia this Saturday. Real quick, what do you think of that? I know it's a really deep division. I kind of feel like, honestly, the winner of this fight and Maia should just fight the winner of Wonderboy and Masvidal. Oh, no, but they can't. If Masvidal wins and so does Covington.
Title shot.
Yeah.
If Masvidal loses, the winner of RDA and Robbie probably gets a title shot.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Depending on how much longer Tyron is out.
Do you think there's any sense that they'll make interim? There's no way. Unless Woodley's out, like it's something worse. He's out for a year.
I like to see Colby Wonderboy.
That'd be a good fight.
I think that's a good matchup.
So there's that.
That's if Colby gets to Maya, which is a tall
or not Casper and Dennis. What am I talking about? Ariel said, "Hey, what happened with your beef against RDA?" And he's basically saying, is after beating Jung Kim's stun gun, I would have gone backwards in the rankings, which is true because at that time RDA was like ranked 14. I don't know what it was welterweight. So I get it. He said Maya was the biggest challenge in the fight to make. Don't blame him there. That's a huge goddamn step up.
For sure.
He says he doesn't consider Woodley a teammate, which he said in the past. He says Woodley visits once a year to be on Dan Lambert's good side.
I mean it's not untrue.
It's not untrue.
Like even Woodley says he trains out of what's his face?
Rufus.
Yeah.
So he talks about helping Woodley prep for Roy McDonald. What was that, like 4 years ago? Something like that. And he said Woodley quit. He says it's supposed to be 5 rounds of sparring, and about 2.5 rounds in, Woodley's guy or manager's like, "All right, Tyron's done." And I was like, "What? You're just gonna quit?" And he's like, "No more questions. He's done." Whatever. This is according to Colby. That's all hearsay. of course. So I'm just saying, just because he's all bragging about it, whatever.
It sounds like some Colby Covington type shit.
Yeah, it's chaos, as he would call it.
Yep.
Colby Covington, of course, was not impressed with Darren Till, well, because he's psychotic, because Cerrone is an aging vet. Basically, if you want to use Mike Perry logic, it's because, well, the Donald Cerrone we saw was Donald Cerrone and not Cowboy. They're two different fighters.
Except you can't blink while you say it.
Sure.
If you want to be Mike Perry.
And look like a member of NSYNC with your tie-dyed denim jacket.
Man,
or bleached denim jacket, excuse me.
My favorite part about that is Brendan Schaub goes, "Hey man, don't make fun of the jacket. I think I own that jacket."
Oh no, that didn't surprise me. And I remember, I think it was co-main. They said, "You noticed Dan Hardy and John Gooden looked at the camera like saying, 'Are you fucking kidding me right now?
Yeah.
We're dealing with this.'" And the best part, which made me laugh my ass off, is Kobe he's like, "How is Sao Paulo? I'm gonna tell you right now, Ariel, Sao Paulo is a fucking dump and hell would be an upgrade."
So he's just going full Chael Sonnen heel.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah, he's just burning everything to the ground this week.
Yeah, so there's that, and the only other person I heard Rose talk for a second, talk about her training camp is pretty much the same as it goes. I think she just talked about she did more defense and counter-striking.
Smart.
And she said her cardio has improved a lot.
That's
as far as her weight cut goes, it hasn't been her easiest weight cut, but I think right now, at the time of the interview, she weighed 126, so she'll be fine.
Yeah, that's way in range.
And then after that, Darren Till, I had a quote from him. He said he weighed 200 pounds, probably 205. During the fight, he says he thinks it should be illegal to be able to naturally cut that much weight because there's nothing anyone is going to be able to do about it, so they could go fuck themselves if they think otherwise.
Sure. I mean, that's a weird way to put it, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why he'd be all, antagonizing.
Yeah, I don't know why you got to be so mad about it, bro, but...
He says he has plans for 185, which I can see because he's fucking huge, and 205, which... Pump the brakes.
Yeah, all right, Brandon Vera, let's tone it down a little bit.
Pump the brakes, please.
Jesus Christ. No wonder everyone's trying to make Connor fucking comparisons.
Yeah.
I heard 8 Connor comparisons.
So there's that, but Colby Covington made me laugh. I know. Honestly, dude, he's just in character. He's probably a pretty cool guy.
I don't know. He seems like he can be a little aggro, but
he could be a little bit an asshole,
he's definitely playing it up.
He's definitely playing it up a lot, yeah. Because that's what Masvidal does, too.
Oh, for sure. Masvidal does it way more. Masvidal's a super nice guy.
And he even said that, too. Remember Masvidal was like, we're the boys like the homie, but I gotta beat his face.
Yeah, he said it on fucking Diaz's podcast a bunch on the Church What's Happening Now. That's a great episode. If you guys haven't heard the Church What's Happening Now with Jorge Masvidal, I think he was on twice. They're both great. They're just talking about like fucking Cuba sandwiches and shit. It's great. So that dude, So MMA Hour, I mean, I would have listened if Ariel didn't do the fucking super long pause thing that he always does.
Yeah.
But motherfucker needs to either learn to read and talk at the same time, or he needs to have someone edit his goddamn 8-hour long podcast to cut out.
Or can he once in life go like this? We'll be right back in 5 minutes.
No, not even that. Just be like, well, here, throw to a clip. Do anything. Do anything, bro. Other than just sit there in silence, so I'm like, have to keep checking my phone. Like, wait, did this stop playing? Oh no, it's just Ariel sitting in silence. It was a legit about like 2 or 3 minute silence at one point. It was bad. Anyway, so my can't miss for this week is real quick with Mike Swick, episode number 10. They actually did 2 episodes this week. One for the recap of UFC Gdansk, which is pretty good. But much better, which they actually teased during that show, is episode 10, which dropped today, Thursday. And they had on as a guest Dana White.
How was Dana? Did he go red?
It was hilarious. The show is just fucking hilarious. Because Dana really likes Mike Swick, and you can tell. So they're both just busting each other's balls non-goddamn stop. It's pretty fucking hilarious. Mike opens saying to Dana that he wasn't really that hyped about GSP Bisping. First fucking thing he brings up. He's like, and then I saw you guys start pushing it, and now I'm starting to get into it. At one point, Mike says GSP's going to take him down and rub it out.
Oh, of course he said that.
Meaning the decision. Dana,
I knew, but that still sounds hilarious.
And of course, Dana starts dying laughing, being like, Jesus Christ, Mike, what the fuck? Because Dana's a goddamn 12-year-old. Dana did confirm that the Maymac pay-per-view was 6.7 million pay-per-view buys. It's
Unless
a
you
big
want
goddamn
unless
number.
you want to believe Chael and say it's inflated, but I don't know.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Does not. Would not at all surprise me. Let's see. Oh, Mike brought up that he was the first one to do the sponsor banner, which, by the way, this is our next clip that you guys will hear. Mike Swick brings up, hey, he's like, oh, Dana, by the way, you know I was the first one to do the sponsor banner, right? Dana says, oh, well, it was the worst thing that ever happened to the UFC, so congrats. It looked like shit every time one of those goofy banners rolled down. I couldn't see shit, and neither could the people who paid $750. I was always wondering who started that bullshit. And then Mike Swick brings up Rico wearing the Golden Palace back tattoo and Sharpie to a fight. And Dana says it almost got the entire show shut down because the casino was so pissed. And Dana says, if that show wouldn't have gone on, it could have put the UFC under at that time.
Ooh, yikes.
She's goddamn crazy. It's just a lot of old stories like that. The Conor Pauly fight gets brought up, and Dana visibly rolls his eyes at it.
Can you not call it a fight?
Well,
I know.
Dana literally was hardcore rolled his eyes at it, which is hilarious. Which means it's probably gonna happen.
Oh god.
And let's see, some dope shit I did hear. Dana confirms Contender Series is coming back in the beginning of 2018.
Can you not have Snoop Dogg?
I'm hoping, but probably will. The night of
Wait, you like Snoop Dogg on there or you don't?
Fingers crossed they don't.
Oh, thank you. So I thought you were flipping me off for a second.
No, I was saying fingers crossed.
Right. So the night of 217, the new episode of Looking for a Fight comes out, which is in New York. So that's cool, because I've been wanting to watch another one of those. And you mentioned the reason why they took that show to YouTube instead of Netflix is because Netflix wanted them to do way too many episodes. And Dana's like, fuck that.
What do they order, like the standard 10 or 13?
I mean, YouTube will, I think, let them do whatever. Whereas Netflix wanted like a certain amount by the end of the year.
That's weird. Sure. Is it YouTube TV? Because I noticed they have a lot of advertisements now, and I guess they offer like sports channels.
Yeah, they do full. Yeah, that's what Lou Thomas.
Because I saw when I was watching the World Series last night, YouTube TV was a huge sponsor around. I was like, oh, why? I looked it up, and I guess YouTube's showing the World Series.
Yeah, but I don't know if our area offers it though, because we have so many fucked cable packages out here.
Then again, LA is in the World Series, so I wouldn't imagine they.
Maybe.
You know what I mean, though.
Yeah, maybe. Let's see. Right, but they wanted too many episodes. Oh, Dana did mention he's high on Ngannou, Ortega, and Calvillo, which kind of knew about, but Ortega kind of surprised me.
He's fighting Cub, right?
Yeah, that's gonna be a crazy fight.
Fuck yeah.
Let's see. Oh, and then Mike talked about being with Dana at Dana's first blackjack tournament, which Dana then gets so excited and he shows off the trophy he won.
How does that go? Like, where the fuck is that?
Dog, so Dana, it's in Vegas. Dana gets to the final table at the tournament, and the guy comes up to him. He's like, another guy in the tournament. He's like, by the way, when we all get to the final table, we normally all just like agree to split it, and then we all just split it amongst each other. And Dana
was he playing against like other rich people?
Yeah, and Dana had the smallest pot. He's like, fuck that, we're playing. And Dana ends up winning the entire tournament and the $250,000 or whatever. And then Mike Swick joked about how he thought it was super baller that Dana was like, hey, you can hold on to it for me, and didn't take it after the tourney. And Dana shows off the trophy, which he was all hyped about.
Hey, good for Dana. I suck at poker, so good for him.
He's good as fuck at blackjack, evidently, because he also shows off...
Oh, yeah, it's blackjack, not poker, what am I thinking?
Yeah, well, he also shows off a straight-up belt that the Palms gave him. It's a fucking UFC-looking belt that has the Palms written on it.
Does it have like a jack card on it or some shit?
Something like that.
Like a fucking gangster.
Well, and it's because Dana won 1.6 mil over 25 trips to the Palms, and they gave him that belt and told him he can't gamble there anymore. So it's like the winningest. I think.
See, that's tight though, because like, you get a belt meaning like you won. Yeah. Basically, like you win the casino. Yep. Fuck you.
And Dana,
get the fuck out.
Yeah. Dana loves both that and that trophy. He keeps saying over and over again he wants to be buried with the fucking trophy.
Yeah, it's a fucking sick trophy. That's tight.
Yeah, it was just a funny fucking episode with Dana and Mike both busting each other's balls. Dana shows off his fucking like all the weird shit in his office, like the goddamn saber tooth.
Someone on Reddit, I think had a video. It said Dana White shows off his Tony Stark style office to Mike Swick.
Yeah.
He says he's a big fan of Iron Man or some shit. So he's like, look at my Tony Stark office. Was it something like that?
It's basically like he's got like fucking saber-tooth heads and like fucking guns that are painted like with UFC logos and like just the weirdest shit.
Just minus the armor.
Yeah, just the weirdest shit. So I thought it was a fun episode, and Mike Swick that show's getting really good. They also said they're going to have a controversial Halloween show coming up, whatever that means.
Oh, fantastic.
So, yeah, I recommend checking it out real quick with Mike Swick. If they get to 50,000 subscribers on their YouTube channel, the guy, Mark, who's his co-host, who has never trained or fought, says he'll fight in Muay Thai, which will be bad. That'd be bad. But I still kind of want to see it. Also, Mike Swick says, spoiler alert, it's going to be against a tranny, because they are in Thailand. So
Ladyboy, yeah.
Yeah, well, in Thailand. I don't know if they're still ladyboys.
Well, I don't know.
I'm just going by what Mike Swick said. He said,
no, I don't give a fuck if you say tranny, but I don't know if you want to be PC for the listener. Oh, fuck it.
Have you met me, bro?
Well,
do you not remember
to
how
be fair,
awesome
you already,
you think I am?
To be fair, you already dropped the homophobic slur pretty clean.
I'm not going to say F word because we're all goddamn adults, and I'm not calling anyone a faggot. I'm just saying,
the guy's like,
I'm
the
saying-
6-letter F word.
I'm saying this person called someone a faggot. It's not like we all, if I say F word, we all think faggot.
Dude, you know I'm fucking with you, right?
I know.
It's all context.
See what you
Trust
did?
me, I know.
Now we have the F word 18 more times on the show.
I'm kidding, but yeah, I know. It's all context.
So anyway, let's see. The only other thing I wanted to bring up was our new show. I listened to the MMA Complex episode 101 this week.
Who's in that?
That is hosts Josh and James. I honestly didn't know much about this show. I think I might have covered one of these episodes like briefly at one point, but I couldn't find any notes on it previously on the site. So I wanted to go over it a little bit. They basically did a big EBI 13 recap, which was cool because they also did their last show, episode 100, was a lead into EBI 13. Since they're both based out of LA, they both went to the event. And they do a lot. They get a lot of grappling guys on, talk a lot of jiu-jitsu. It's pretty rad.
Goddamn Amber Lamps.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, they open the episode super low energy, but they get in and start breaking out EBI 13 and the crazy performances from Wagner Hocha and Gary Tonin. They also played some post-fight post-match interviews that they did with Gary Tonin after his win and with Gordon Ryan. So it was cool hearing from them. I really like Gary Tonin and Gordon Ryan a lot. All the Donaher Death Squad guys are they're really cool and really interesting dudes to hear from. Let's see. Oh, they also talked a bit about how hard it is to get fighters to do interviews, especially from the bigger orgs. Like if you try to get an interview from anyone in Bellator, pretty much always tell you have to go through Bellator PR. They talk about a little bit about the inside dirt on that, which is cool.
All I'll say is, from when I interviewed Katzengano and people at Lions, just go through the direct agent. I know it might be a little different, the organization, but that's what I would do.
Oh, for sure. It also helps if you're fucking from San Diego and doing a paper
let's be real.
San Diego school,
Let's be real.
Plus,
if I didn't tell them I was a student, they'd be like, probably go fuck yourself.
Yeah, you're like, I'm from state, so half the people in this building probably went to state at some point for something, if nothing else, a kegger. Yeah, for that or to get ecstasy. Shouts out to all the people I know that used to sell ecstasy up at state.
Bears.
Yeah, nose beers, those two. Anyway, back to the MMA Complex. It was just interesting hearing him talk to Gary Tonin. They also mentioned briefly their trip to Roscoe's afterwards, which was bomb.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, because they're up in LA.
Dude, I think it's been like 5 years since I've been at Roscoe's.
I gotta get over to Roscoe's
here.
again.
They're supposed to do it here, but
I think so.
They canceled it.
Yeah. Anyway, so Gary Tonin talks a bit about the match. He talks about how against Lucas Valente, or I think it's Valente, he basically went for an early heel hook, and he felt the ankle pop, but Valente wouldn't tap. So Gary Tonin said he specifically kept going after it to make sure he got the finish. And that was the nasty heel hook that fucked that dude's leg up. Gary also talks about signing to One, and like the people who work for One being the reason he went to it. Guys like Matt Hume and all those dudes, Rich Franklin. And then Gordon comes on to talk about training with Gary for ADCC and then what they changed in the lead up to EBI 13. Also talk about the MMA organizations that have been reaching out to Gordon Ryan. He says he's mainly still working on gi jiu-jitsu and stuff like that right now, but at some point he does think he wants to start trying out MMA. Says he's doing like a little bit of boxing and stuff in the meantime. Yeah, the show's just pretty laid back, but pretty interesting, and they cover a lot of grappling events, so I'm definitely going to check it out when they do the lead up for the Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds, which are coming up from Eddie Bravo. So that should be cool. But yeah, just an interesting show that I see a lot in the MMApodcast.com page.
I finally visited a website, man.
Oh, yeah?
I like that a lot, especially when we saw our shit on there.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you just might click it, because
It's
I
great.
listened to ours from last week. We sounded alright.
Yeah.
I liked it, yeah.
Yeah, our audio wasn't completely horrible.
And I liked how it started right away, because I noticed, like, half those websites, when you play the fucking audio, and it's like it buffers for a bit, man.
That's because we're hosted straight through Libsyn, so we don't have like a redirect or anything.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I don't give a fuck about our analytics. If I did, then it would be a bitch. Because if we were basically a lot of those, they redirect through an analytics website.
So you kind of track. Yeah.
Exactly, but I get enough tracking from Libsyn, and also, if y'all motherfuckers cared, you would just email us or tweet us, and we'll follow you that way. But was there any other podcasts you listened to?
Yeah, let me see. Worth noting. Submission Radio was kind of funny. Tim Kennedy's hilarious. He talked about hunting Hitler. Well, Hitler's remaining Nazi enthusiasts.
Yeah, that's like that show
in
he
South
does,
America.
right?
Yeah, he's talked about it before. The thing I took away from most is he was talking about Michael Bisping being too much of a mismatch for George St. Pierre.
Yeah.
Saying he sparred against Bisping. He fought Bisping. I think he beat Bisping, actually. And he
Back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day. He beat Bisping.
Yeah.
So about Bisping, his wrestling is solid. His jiu-jitsu is underrated. His boxing is way better than... Not way better, but it's better than GSP's. And
especially after working with, what's his face?
Just listening to him, man, yeah. And I've already told you before, and we'll go into more detail next week, but it's Bisping's fight to lose, man.
I think so as well, yeah.
There's that. And Andre Feely was on.
No, interesting.
I mentioned earlier. They asked him about the homophobic shit
Right,
that Connor
right.
said. And Andre Feely pretty much said it like me or you would say. He's like, dude, he pretty much was just consoling his friend, and I don't give a fuck. Like, people talk like that all the time. He's like, I grew up in an area in California where, like, you say faggot as a word is like, that dude's lame.
I think does he say faggot in the song that we saw him do on stage?
I don't know. Probably not.
I know someone rapped using the word faggot. I don't remember who it was.
I don't know. It
Could have been Andre Feely.
Then that means he's a hypocrite.
I don't know if that's true, though. I could be making that up. I could be
shit.
mixing him up with somebody else.
Either way, Andre Feely, I mean, I remember I used to say he's the guy I hate the most in Alpha Male, but that's because he...
His neck tattoos don't help.
Okay, and he said that too. Like, he said an old Polish lady stared at him like she wanted to call the cops.
Yep.
So he seems like a pretty chill guy. Most of his Alpha Male guys, he sounds just like Cody Garbrandt.
Like more West Coast Cody Garbrandt.
Yeah, because he's from Ohio and he's from California. I think Andre Feely is from California.
Yeah, I think he's from NorCal.
But, yeah, I don't know. It was pretty interesting. He's talking about how he just loves eating pizza all the time now.
It's always been his thing. He fucking loves pizza, man. Can't blame him.
That dude's metabolism clearly is insane because he's skinny as shit.
Yeah, he's tiny.
So, yeah, good for him. He says he wants to fight Do Ho Choi next, which I would love to see that.
Would be a great fight.
Because they were going to be fighting originally, and of course I would take Do Ho Choi in that.
For sure. I don't like that matchup at all for Feely.
I don't.
But it'd be a fun fight while it lasted.
Yeah. So... that probably will happen.
Has he fought not Maestro Dong Kim?
I don't think so.
That would be a fun fight.
It'd be a fight too. Yeah. Oh, but that'd be at lightweight.
That's true. I always forget he's bigger.
It's weird. He's 145, but he's skinny. He's like Holloway, bro.
Yeah.
Because he did fight Holloway, and actually was kind of a close fight. But dude, this was like 5 years ago.
Yeah, Holloway used to be
this
so
in Holloway
different.
was like 21 or 22, 20. Or no, this was 4 years ago, yeah.
For sure.
Either way, that's... Yeah, it's pretty much all I got, man. I mean, I had your welcome. I'll just say one quote.
Yep.
Chael fucks with his assistant or producer, Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob interrupted him. Like mid-sentence, like giving an announcement about Connor. And he's like, you just like to interrupt with the hot mic, don't you, Jacob? He's like, what if I had a cure for cancer idea and you made me lose my train of thought? What would happen then, Jacob? And then Jacob's like, well, cancer will have to wait. And then fucking Chael started laughing like super hard for like the next minute. It was great.
It was pretty good.
That's why I like the guy Jacob. He just knows not to give a fuck.
It's pretty good. Chael loves him some confidence.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. So the only ones I had a couple suggestions of stuff to listen to. Collapse MMA did the Ultimate Fighter 14, which was Bisping versus Jason Mayhem Miller. Basically just a lot of crazy mayhem stories. And Breen also tells the story of drunkenly knocking on Tony Ferguson's door the night before his fight on that card.
Oh, shit.
He did it on accident because he lost his passport. And he went to the other room that they were hanging out in, which turned out to be Tony Ferguson's room.
That's great.
Yeah, so that was the night before he fought, and he evidently apologized 18 times the next day. But yeah, just another good Collapse MMA episode where they go back and they basically recap the card and talk about what was happening in the UFC at the time. Let's see, there was some good stuff on the Jordan Breen show as well. I guess I'm a big Jordan Breen homer this week. They talk a lot about the Heather Hardy fight, as well as this Gegard
That
fight.
was gnarly as fuck.
Yeah, you guys heard us react to that live on the air last week. Fucking ridiculous. They also talk about the high number of gay athletes that fight in the UFC, especially in the female division.
I forgot, how many of them off the top of our head are openly gay?
10.
So there's Tisha Torres.
I don't want to.
Okay, sorry, I won't get you this. Sorry.
Because we'll either forget some or I
don't want to be that guy who omits someone and they feel,
Although I will say, shout out to Liz Carmouche, who's dating a chick I'm pretty good friends with, so shouts out to that. What's up, Liz Carmouche? That's what's up. Fucking hilarious.
Stop
anyway.
by for the podcast.
Yeah. Fucking, yeah, Liz Carmouche does not approve. Let's see. What else? Oh, the other thing they talked about... Oh, of course, you guys heard the clip on the intro of Ant talking about Norman Park getting laced with the left hand and Ant dying laughing. And Breen makes the argument, which I totally agree with, that KSW has made the biggest improvements has gotten the most hype as a promotion in the last year out of anyone, which I totally agree with, because KSW has done some big shit this year. And they've just made some of the most improvements overall as an organization. So, pretty cool hearing him give them that shine. The only other stuff I saw, Jack Slack did a pretty good recap.
Recap?
Yeah, he did a recap for Bellator and for the Polish card.
He's probably stoked on Till, fellow Englishman.
Yeah, he was a little stoked on Till. He also, I think he said the name of the episode something along the lines of UFC Gdansk was terrible or something like that.
Yeah.
He did mention KSW and the roidy steroid boys, as he called them, which I thought was hilarious. He also called this card UFC Polish Stars and Gimmies. And then he talks about what's next for Till and being matched up against some of the top 10 at 170. It was interesting hearing his take, but didn't really have a lot to discuss other than how he wasn't that big a fan of the card. Big Brown Breakdown did an alright show. He talked about Rogan's new studio and how it's basically Rob Dyrdek's Fantasy Factory meets the movie Blank Check.
No, yeah, that's right.
Which is goofy as hell. Also, they're not doing live streaming anymore.
To be fair, I don't know how many times I watched that movie when I was a kid.
Yeah, also, I think that kid's in jail with face tattoos now.
I think you're right.
I'm pretty positive.
I think I swear to God I saw it too. Yeah. And let's think. I'm
pretty positive.
The Disney stars. It checks out.
Yeah, for sure. I wonder if I don't remember if I was on the commentary track for that Dune and Geo did. Although I don't even think that Dune and Geo feed still exists. But yeah, if you guys dig around the internet, maybe
it's the internet. It exists, dude.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe that's some pretty obscure shit. Anyway, Brendan does mention a couple interesting things though, like how fighting in multiple times in a year seems like it's really not paying off for a lot of dudes, like guys like Cerrone, Magny. Like it's starting to really not work for dudes. And then Brendan shits on the Bisping versus GSP beef, calling it a Super Nintendo compared to VR and PS4 that is Connor's shit talk game.
The worst comparison ever, but okay.
Yep. Also, he shits on Chael's shit talk game,
which doesn't make sense.
Yep.
Stay in your lane.
And then he goes over a bunch of the same topics you already heard.
Cool. Can I just add one thing real quick? Talker episode 12
I missed this one.
Was great. I know I didn't hear last week when they did the Hot Wings challenge, but Dennis had to go to the fucking hospital because apparently he had excruciating pain lobbing in his chest, like actual legit, like he felt like he was being stabbed.
Yeah.
Guess why?
Why?
What do you think it was? So after eating a bunch of hot sauce, basically, and not having any milk, which you should have.
He's also lactose intolerant.
Yes. Imagine that. So what do you think could cause excruciating pain inside your chest that's not a heart attack?
Heartburn?
What?
Stroke?
No.
I don't know where we're
Okay,
going.
listen to me.
I'm not a good doctor.
Okay.
Don't call me House.
Try an ulcer.
Oh,
Try
yeah.
adding all a bunch of hot sauce, spice hot sauce, to a fucking ulcer, which is basically a scab in the lining of your esophagus or your stomach. Yeah.
It's hot, bro.
Yeah, they said it was he said he had an ulcer, he fucking collapsed, and he had to call his wife had to call the ambulance, and he had to go to the hospital, and guess how much that cost? His coverage covered about $3,000 of it, so he still owes $5,000
Oh.
for a hospital ride.
So the good news is he did win $200 from the wings.
That's true. DC felt pretty bad too.
Yeah, I bet. He should feel
he's
bad.
like, fuck. He's like, well, we're clearly never doing that again. And Blurry, his nephew, Chef, I think it's Chef Blurry, his nephew, ended up the next day at his work, ended up puking like 4 times where his nephew got sent home. And his nephew lives with him. I didn't know that. His nephew lives with him. He's like, hey, nephew, how's it going? He's like, Uncle, I threw up like 4 times. And he's like, nephew, go to bed.
That's terrible.
And then the funny part is they had this guy named Millar. I can't remember who the fuck it was. I think it was some betting guy. They quizzed Dennis. I think it was Dennis about the colors of NBA kits, like uniforms. And if he got less than 6 right, Millar, or he would owe Millar $50. If he got 6 or more right, he would owe $50. He ended up getting them wrong, of course. And dude, I don't even know NBA, and clearly I would have gotten. It's like, come on, bro. Like, it's.
I could have butchered that.
And it was funny as DC said, literally behind him on the wall were a bunch of different uniforms, his favorite NBA teams.
That's funny.
It was great. And then of course Millar was talking shit. A lot of it was NFL talk. Like, I wasn't gonna call it a skip because it's more entertainment.
Yeah.
But they're talking about, oh, the Saints are garbage. They haven't beat anyone because that's DC's team and they're in first place. And it was funny.
Yeah, there's always a bunch
of
Saints talk on that show.
It was funny for me as a big NFL guy still, even though I don't cheer for the Chargers, but I still watch football. it was funny to listen to DC saying, like, clearly there's something wrong with you. You know, like, it was pretty great.
Well, and the good news is for you is no one cheers for the Chargers anymore. I don't know if you've seen their fan attendance.
The bad news for San Diego is no more free tacos because the Chargers have won 3 in a row. So you have to hope they lose. Well, they do play the Patriots this week, so it's a good chance to get free tacos this week, everyone. Yeah. If you live in South Bay, and I don't, so that's why I haven't got free tacos because I can't drive 20 minutes for free tacos.
Yeah, at that point they're not free tacos anymore.
You're a communist? You don't drive 20 minutes for free tacos.
I'm alright.
All right. Well, anyway, on that note, we'll go ahead and wrap this segment, but we'll be back after Chris stops kicking the stand that the microphone is on. We'll be back to talk about, and if my dog stops sneezing in the background. What up, Seamus?
Seamus.
Okay, just roll over if you're tired. All right, good talk. So we're going to be back. Oh, you don't have to sigh like that, bro. We're going to be back in a minute to talk about the UFC Gdansk card briefly. And then to break down the upcoming UFC Sao Paulo, Brazil card, Fight Night 119.
AKA also known as Hell, according to Colby Covington.
Yeah. Colby Covington's future home. Oh boy, that dude. They're gonna,
if he makes it out.
Yeah, I was just about to say. It's going to be his future home because he's going to get buried there. So we'll be back in a minute. But in the meantime, y'all can listen to a clip of... Shit, what was the clip? I just mentioned it a second ago. It is a clip of... Oh, right. It's real quick with Mike Swick. You get to hear Dana shitting on Mike Swick's being the first dude to ever use a banner. So we'll be right back.
Are you excited about it all?
Switching gears, do you remember, because we just did a podcast about the very first sponsored banner, and I'm a little hurt that, like, I was the first guy to do a sponsored banner, and it kind of went under the radar. That's pretty historic, you know, like, as far as I think. My little piece of the pie for the MMA community. Do you remember when I laid that sponsor?
It was the worst thing to happen to the UFC. Congratulations.
What the fuck?
It looked like shit. Every time one of those goofy fucking banners rolled down, I couldn't see through the octagon what was going on, and neither could the people who paid fucking $750 sitting behind me. Yeah.
That's
And
what
they
you
were
get for
putting all the rinky-dink fucking sponsors on the thing.
That's what you get for pushing us for 2 weeks for this interview.
Center and fucking
You
all
think
this
Condom
shit.
Depot's a rinky-dink?
That's what you get
Condom
for.
Depot.
That's what you get for pushing this interview for 2 weeks. There you go, 10 years of sponsored banners.
Right.
God, you
That's
just
right.
shit on his whole week.
So
That
I'm
is
disappointed
great.
because nobody's talking about it, and then he's just shitting on it.
That's fucking phenomenal.
I thought you at least had my back on that one. Jeez.
That was the worst thing to ever happen. Fucking horrible.
All right, we are back. That was a clip of Dana shitting all over Mike Swick for bringing banners to the UFC. Fucking pretty brutal, right?
Yeah, but at least he's honest. Well,
No.
fair, he did bring remarks.
He's honest that time. Dana's never honest. Let's not get crazy.
He's honest when it's convenient to himself.
Yeah. And he likes Mike Swick, so he's just busting his balls, but pretty fucking funny overall. But we are here to, in this segment, we're going to recap that UFC Gdansk card. I thought it was fun overall. I know Jack Slack was not a big fan, but I didn't mind it. Also, it being first thing in the morning, I always kind of enjoy those cards.
Yeah, you
so.
misled me a tiny bit. Well, it wasn't your fault. You initially told me it was 8 in the morning. So I woke
It
up at
was 8 in the morning.
No, dude. Well, the main event
So
started at 12.
2 fights dropped out. So the
wait.
So the fight.
The main card is probably supposed to start at 11.
No, main card was supposed to start at 12. The prelims didn't start till 9. They were supposed to start at 8.
Sorry, because I literally woke up at 8 and I was
Yep.
like, what the fuck is going on?
And I would have texted you, but my phone died.
Oh, that's right,
same
because you had
day.
that photo of you flipping off your phone.
Yeah, my phone fucking super died on me. So after fighting with that problem all weekend and getting a new phone, I finally fucking figured that shit out. But yeah, that was a fun card. We'll start off the bottom. Actually, you want to start off the top of the card? Darren Till, Don Cerrone?
Yeah.
I mean, this fight was going to go one of two ways.
I'll just say this. How many strikes did Cerrone even land? Like 5?
Not
Dude,
a
I
lot,
don't even know.
I would imagine. I don't have any stats or anything on it,
Dude,
but it
looked
can't
like
be
he landed
much.
like less than 10. Like, legit. Like, he didn't even throw anything.
I mean, he's notoriously a slow starter.
Yeah.
We, last week, both had Cerrone, so that didn't work out great for us. It was one of those things where I just thought Cerrone would be able to get through the early, onslaught of Till. Till, a lot of times, just throws left hand. However, he was fucking landing the shit out of that left hand. Also hit a nasty elbow. And he just came at Cerrone early. Cerrone got that takedown, but unfortunately couldn't hold Till down, which really was his undoing, I feel like, in that fight. If he would have gotten some solid top control in, and taken some of the gas out of Darren Till's sails, I think, or wind out of his sails, rather, I think that would have helped a lot.
No, dude, it's a gas-powered sailboat, dude.
Yeah, dog. I fucking...
It's water ruled.
Yeah, Dana White owns one of those. He fucking flew it in for his kids for Christmas. It was how that fight was going to go. It was either going to go Donald Cerrone takes him into deep water and fucks him up, or gets him on the ground and fucks him up, or Darren Till comes out way too strong for Cerrone and finishes
So,
him.
clearly, Darren Till was fishing for bass, and he caught a bass, not a shark.
Oh, good one, bro.
Right?
Yeah.
Clearly hasn't fought Mike Perry.
Nailed it. Yeah. Goddamn Mike Perry with his fucking no blinking, weird eye contact to the
He should
camera.
have just done the chicken dance.
He's a crazy person. Why was he in Poland?
Because they knew... Well, they anticipated that.
I know, but what? I still don't understand what Mike Perry is doing in Poland. Just weird to me. Anyway, speaking of Poland, Karolina Kowalkiewicz fucking dominated the shit out of Jodie Escobar in that fight.
Knees, yeah.
Oh my god, dude. She was killing her with knees. And just completely outworking her. Jodie Escobar did okay early on, but she just started to slow down as Karolina gained steam, and Karolina just kept landing more and more, especially in the clinch, just fucking her up. It was pretty rough. And we both got that one right, so hey,
This next
which we
fight
should have, to be
was
fair.
weird as shit as far as how it ended, because I've never seen a
Standing RNC.
Yeah, that was wow.
Yeah, it was.
That takes a lot of strength, I guess. I mean, fuck, I don't know how else you do that.
Yeah, it's also weird that Devin Clark didn't drop to his back or try anything. He kind of
Kind of looks
panicked.
like he just kind of stood there. I was like, fuck.
I think he just caught him way off guard, which, to be fair, caught me off guard seeing it. But yeah, Jan Blachowicz, the fucking take your goddamn lunch money, rear naked choke. That shit was ridiculous. But yeah, big win for him. One that Jan Blachowicz definitely needed after
BJ Blazkowicz, yeah.
Yeah, Jan BJ Blazkowicz. But good for him to get a win, man. It's definitely going to put him back into contention in a division that desperately needs people.
I think Devin Clark was unranked, so he kind of just stays the same.
Yeah, because I think Devin Clark moved up for that fight, or down.
He'll be good.
One of those. Let's see, Oscar Pichota,
I remember I picked that guy for no reason.
Yep. Took on Jonathan
except for home field advantage.
Well, that shit worked out well. You look great.
I don't know who I picked in the next one, though. I think I picked Held, too. Yeah.
I don't remember who you did either, but I believe it was Held, yeah. Big win for Oscar Pichota. Just kind of won that fight in most ranges, from what I remember. I honestly... There's a lot of this card that, like, man, I could not tell you what happened in. Shit, I didn't realize there were so many decisions on this card. I feel like after the Sam Alvey fight, I kind of just fell asleep for, like, a good 3 or 4 fights. Actually, that's not true, because the one right after that was crazy. Marcin Held took on Nasrat Hakparast. Marcin Held looked good in this fight. Big as shit.
Did. He's fucking way bigger.
Yeah, good top control. Basically won it with that, if I remember correctly. But still looked better on the feet, and was able to consistently get takedowns. If I remember correctly. God, a lot of these, like, big white dudes remind me of each other, and they're all so Polish. Like, I can tell you the difference between Marcin Held and Damon Stasiak, but I remember a lot of those fights. Not a lot of details. Let's see. Brian Kelleher took on Damian Stasiak. That was a crazy fucking war. They beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, it's more close than I thought it would be.
Agreed. Although I knew Stasiak was going to hang in there tough because he's tough as shit, I definitely did not expect it to go to the third round when he was taking that big of a beating. I mean, he was still hanging in there and still landing big shots, but dude was getting smashed with stuff a lot of that fight. And Brian Kelleher jumped on his neck like 8,000 times, it seems like.
For what happened to the fight? Did that not happen?
Yeah, so the Weezork fight got pushed, which was Weezork versus Anthony Freight Train Hamilton, because Weezork had a bunch of soccer hooligans who were from a rival Polish soccer team show up at the weigh-ins. And they were like, the UFC just put it off. That's the story. I think it's because they were like, oh, hey, we just realized that Anthony Hamilton had a 30-day fucking clearance after a knockout, which was way too short anyway, and he's fighting 33 days after that.
Yeah, because we were talking about how that's super fucking shit.
I think on the low, that might have been why they pulled that fight. I think it was convenient.
They put it on soccer hooligans.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I think it was a convenient excuse to do that. But I think the fact that Anthony Freight Train Hamilton.
And it's like, dude, why would you blame it on soccer hooligans when probably half of that guy's camp could fuck all those hooligans up?
I mean, yeah, but like it's more security problems for the
Yeah.
venue and shit like
Yeah,
that.
you can't have liabilities too.
Yeah, well, you don't want to riot because that was evidently possible. But yeah, Kelleher looked good in his fight.
Of course, I picked. Oh no, this is Alvey.
Sam Alvey,
unfortunately,
versus Emiev. To be fair,
but we didn't know who Emiev really was.
Well, and I did not know Sam Alvey was going to absolutely fucking die.
Which, by the way, after this, I'm never picking Alvey in a fight ever again.
I still will, because after this, he's going to get someone that he can fucking punch in the face and knock out. However, I wish he would goddamn just get a top mouthpiece and stop getting the double mouthpiece with the hole in the middle, because it just makes him suck wind the entire time, and it's brutal to watch him fumble with it. I like Sam Alvey a lot. He's a good dude, and it's hard not to root for him. But yeah, that was a tough fight. Man, It was not super impressive from Emiev either, because he was way small in comparison to Sam Alvey and had almost zero luck with the takedowns. And Alvey, to be fair, is tough as shit and pops right back up all the time. But, man, yeah, kind of a rough fight and definitely kind of a lull in the card. Andre Fili, Artem Lobov, or as we like to call it, the fucking Conor McGregor circus. Oh, man, that fight was kind of all over the place.
I know I picked Lobov on instinct, but there was a couple instances where Lobov could have clipped him pretty fucking clean a couple times.
He did clip him hard a couple times.
And I was like, oh shit.
But Fili luckily was able to stick to the game plan, and the takedowns
yeah.
totally won them in that fight. It was pretty close, actually. But yeah, the takedowns, especially that third round with Lobov having landing maybe two or three punches.
I'll give credit to Lobov. He's basically a 500 fighter, just average as it gets. But that dude at least can kind of swing on some. He's tough as shit.
He comes forward and throws, and he can take a fucking beating for sure.
Yeah. His recovery was nuts too. After he got dropped with a head kick, damn, that dude got right the fuck up.
He got blasted by that head kick and popped right back up. He's crazy tough, which is probably to his detriment.
And probably because he sparred against Conor, probably getting blasted by that left hand.
That can't help.
Oh well, you already know he'd be like, I sharpened my chin.
Yeah, he seems like one of those dudes. When his chin goes, it's gonna go, and it's gonna be bad.
Oh, at some point,
Chuck Liddell style. But yeah, it was a fun fight. The Conor shit was annoying, but Conor just
good on Mark Goddard.
Yeah, no, Mark Goddard. I thought he was gonna take a point from Lobov at a certain point because Conor wasn't stopping, which would have been fucking crazy. Because Conor would have lost his goddamn mind, but yeah, it's just upsetting. Conor, dude just loves attention more than he likes just about anything, and that shit was it was a bummer to see. Also, if Conor wanted to be in that dude's fucking corner so bad, could have been a cornerman.
Yeah, why not?
Doesn't want to be a cornerman because that requires actual fucking work, and he just wants to show up and get his face all over everything. And he was so goddamn coked up. Tell me he wasn't coked up during that. He looked gacked to the gills, dude. He looked super blown out.
Just
I could be wrong.
Walking back, just
yeah, I could be wrong, but he looked like he was super coked up. Anyway, we'll keep moving. Warley Alves got the decision over Salim
Tuari.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, Warley Alves got the decision. I thought Warley Alves was going to put him away early, but he started getting safe after he was ahead.
This is the fight I tuned in. I didn't see the other ones before that, unfortunately.
Well, you missed out on Aspen Ladd fucking...
ground and pound, right?
Yeah, so Aspen Ladd got stuck against the cage for almost, in basically clinch battles the entire first round, getting blasted with knees to the body by Alina Landsberg. And then Aspen Ladd comes out in the second, gets the takedown, and then gets straight to mount and just starts fucking throwing bombs and yelling while she's doing it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think it's co-main to
throwing hands.
No, what does it mean if you just scream at your opponent
Yeah. It's fucking awesome. Aspen Ladd's a bad motherfucker, and she's been beating the shit out of girls in Invicta. So it was good to see her get a win. That's 100% why I went with her, because I knew that girl was going to do big things in the UFC. Especially just her style is tough as shit, man. You can put her against the fence, and you can maybe eke out a shitty decision that way. But she is always going to come forward and try and box your face off. There's almost no head movement at all, but she will come forward and throw hands. And that was just a fun fight. Lena Landsberg's tough as shit. She is super tough, but man, she got wailed on the ground. And then Josh Emmett took on Felipe Ranches. Josh Emmett worked his goddamn wrestling finally, and worked enough of the stand-up to be able to get that decision. But yeah, just good performance from Josh Emmett, and good to see him to go back to his wrestling, which he was talking about doing going into that fight. So, yeah, I thought it was a fun card, man, overall. Nothing really was that crazy outside of the Cerrone main event and the whatchamacallit, the Andre Fili fight with fucking all the Conor drama.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of these fights kind of went how people expected them to. I mean, the ones that didn't are you could see why. But the stuff like KK winning and the way the Andre Fili Artem Lobov fight went, kind of played out how I think a lot of people expected. But not the worst card. Pretty good for a Fight Pass card in the early morning. And, I mean, I was happy with it. A lot of decisions though, but still happy with it. So we will go ahead and wrap this segment here. Oh shit, I forgot to mention our artwork for this week, which you guys have already noticed, is Angie Hill and I think Jens Pulver in the picture. I think he's in the picture too. I don't have it pulled up in front of me.
Is it like on a car or kind of?
Yeah, they're on a car for. They did a tournament at TwitchCon for H1Z1, which was rad. It was them and DJ were on the tournament, and Jens Pulver got top 10, which is dope as hell.
That's right.
Yeah, so big shouts out to that guy. He's super nice. I've talked to him on Twitter before. Really nice guy. And nobody really. I don't know if I've heard many like bad Jens Pulver stories. Everyone's always saying nice shit about him. So cool to see that dude up there. Hopefully he starts a goddamn Twitch channel already. I think he had one at one point, but I don't think he currently does. But I'm going to do some research on that. Oh, and also we should shout out Randy Brown is actually doing a Twitch stream right now as we're talking. If you guys go look up Touch and Go 170 on Twitch, that's his Twitch channel. I'll link in the description. But it's hilarious. It's just him and his
Rainbow
buddies.
Six Siege, right?
Yeah, it's him and his buddies playing Rainbow Six Siege and fucking just talking shit and joking around. It's actually really entertaining.
See, I'd probably be like this one dude. There's this one guy on YouTube called We're Gonna Lose. He's probably one of the best trolls I've ever seen. Just check him out. He uses a voice modifier, sounds like a kid. It's pretty great.
That's
on Rainbow
brutal.
Six Siege. Yeah, he'll like play the Dot character.
Oh, you can fuck your team so bad.
He'll play
in
the
that
Doc
game.
character. He'll be like this. He'll shoot him and down him. He's like, "Don't worry, I'm Doc. I'll heal you." And be like, "Wee wee wee." And he'll just like fucking revive him, and then accidentally shoot them accidentally. And be like, "Oh no!" You know, and just fucking kill them. So
That's
yeah,
ridiculous.
it's pretty bad.
Yeah. Anyway, but Randy Brown's channel is dope, so give that a look, and we will go ahead and be back in just a second so that we can break down. Oh, actually, well, we mentioned briefly, but Gegard Mousasi and Alexander Slemenko, that fight was pretty close.
Yeah, man. We watched that live, and
Yeah.
me and you were kind of like.
I was leaning.
I could see what he said, Gegard.
Yeah, I was leaning Slemenko, but on a rewatch, I did give Gegard the second round, which is pretty much I think what everyone had it coming down to is that second round. So that was a cool card. Man, I wish I could watch more of the Bellator prelims, but boo boy, it is some regional ass MMA sometimes. So the classic Scott Coker model where you fill the building with a bunch of locals on the prelims, but. Yeah, crazy seeing Heather Hardy get smashed in the face. Neiman Gracie just crushing a dude on the ground. Yeah, fun card, man. So, oh, and EBI was dope. We didn't talk about EBI at all, but that was cool as hell. Gary Tonin defending the lightweight title. Still holding it. Danaher Death Squad, Jesus Christ. Holding that shit down, and I'm excited to see Gordon Ryan compete in the absolute division again here coming up before too long, I believe. So should be dope. But we'll wrap this segment here. You guys can listen to a clip of god damn it, what was it? Oh, the MMA Vivisection talking about how Hakran Diaz seems kind of like Jose Aldo on codeine. So
Interesting.
yeah. So check that out.
It's a hell of a goddamn night.
Yep.
That brings us to a lightweight bout. Hakran Diaz, Jared Gordon, to me, probably the other bout with the most potential to be a complete snoozer.
Yeah. Would you say that's Hakran Diaz's fault?
Yeah, always. Hakran Diaz just, it's like Jose Aldo on a severe downer, where like he's just been taking something to, like he's like Jose Aldo on codeine, maybe.
Right. Absolutely.
Alright, we are back. That was the MMA Vivisection guys, Connor Rebush and Zane Simon, talking about how Hakran Diaz is kind of like Jose Aldo on codeine.
Very interesting way to put it.
Yeah, I don't disagree with it at all. It's actually kind of a good comparison, but super goofy nonetheless. But we are going to break down our picks for the last card of our Q1 of our fantasy
I remember
league.
I got that email.
Yeah.
I'm in prime position to win, man, if I get 2 wins from my fighters.
Yep, you are as long as everyone else doesn't
I'm 15 points
kill-
ahead, so I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
But I just realized, do you get anything if you win the quarter, or is it just matter at the end?
You automatically get in on the final quarter. Unlike because the final quarter is the winners from the first 3 quarters and a wild card, I think, or something like
so
that.
I make the playoffs then.
Yeah, you should make the playoffs.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be dope.
Well, then cheer for me, because no offense, you're way behind.
Yeah, no, I gave up on that league. But are you seeing my season 2 or my quarter 2 lineup?
No,
I have
it's
I have a shitload of main events. I have a shitload of the
There you
favorites on main
go.
events. Plus, I have on the 217 card, I have Joanna Jędrzejczyk, I have Michael Bisping, and I have Jorge Masvidal.
There you go.
So that is some goddamn points right there off the
They're all
top.
very winnable.
Yeah, especially JJ's fight, I feel like. And Bisping, too, as long as he can stop a goddamn takedown and not eat 100 jabs. But anyway, we are not there yet. That is next week. This weekend, we are talking about the UFC Fight Night 119 Brunson vs. Machida card in Sao Paulo, Brazil. How are your thoughts going into this one? Like, are you super hyped for it? Have you not heard a ton about it? What are you thinking?
I've heard enough to where I'm definitely going to tune in.
Right.
As much as I can. Is this regular start time, like Pacific for us in the West Coast?
Yeah, I think it starts at the first prelim start at 4, something like that.
So main card probably
Main card's probably like 7 or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. So what's the first fight off the bat? What is this?
First fight is Christian Colombo taking on Marcelo Golm.
What the fuck is that on here? I don't even see that.
That's not even on the goddamn
Wow.
Sherdog page. That's how much these fights have changed.
Okay.
Because both those dudes ended up losing.
Do you want to just go ahehead and say I recognize Colombo's name, so I'll pick him?
You can
It's
go ahead
fucked
and
up, but,
pick Colombo. I'm going to go ahead and pick Golm because Colombo
Or does he suck?
He doesn't suck, and he's supposed to be a really nice guy. But he has been getting wailed on in his last couple fights, and he is not the youngest dude, and this Golem guy hits hard as fuck. Colombo gasses. Colombo's easy to take down. So I'm actually going to go Golem. To be fair, though, it's Golem's first fight in the UFC, so this one's kind of a toss-up. It could go either way. Colombo's probably the smart pick, but I'm going to go Golem just off of not trusting Colombo. Let's see. Up next, we got Jared Brooks versus Devson Figueroa.
I'm going to go Jared Brooks.
Because you don't know the other dude's name?
Well, that, and because I saw an article said, is Jared Brooks next in line for Mighty Mouse, which is clearly a very huge
Everyone does that
hyperbole.
anytime anyone
I know,
shows up,
but
though.
that's why I'm choosing him, because
True.
it's hilarious. And that's why I'm going Jared Brooks.
True. Also, shouts out to my computer fan making the loudest goddamn noise of all time right now. Because I opened 2 goddamn Sherdog pages. Everything fucking breaks. Let's see. We got Figueiredo coming off the win over Marco Beltran. Thank you for calming down, computer. And we got Jared the Monkey God Brooks. I forgot about this dude. That's Jared Brooks. I always forget about the Monkey God gimmick. Yeah, he's the guy who's coming off the win over Eric Shelton and Jun Nakamura in Pancrase, both of which were super impressive. The Eric Shelton win was a split decision, but Jared Brooks still looked real good in that fight.
Oh, he's young as shit, too.
Yeah, super young, big up-and-comer. He was the guy, I think, who was talking shit to, I want to say Cody Garbrandt when he dropped out against TJ.
Cody, why the fuck?
Well, you know, because he was like, fuck that, I'll take that fight right now. It was like, whatever, however short out from that
Sure.
fight. Because he ended up getting called up to the UFC, I think.
I commend
because of
him
that.
having balls.
Yeah, and he's a tough motherfucker who definitely hits hard for the division. Which way you leaning on this one? You said Monkey God?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go Brooks, too. Just not knowing nearly enough about Figueiredo. And Jared Brooks is, again, a tough out. Dude comes forward and has heavy hands, so I'm definitely going him. But I would not be surprised if this... Anytime cards happen in Brazil, picking against Brazilians is either a great idea or a terrible idea. Like, I feel like the Brazilians either sweep positively or sweep negatively. Very rarely is it, like, split 50-50.
Yeah, that's a good point. I forgot about this for the judging. Kind of goes for the home field advantage.
That too, or the Brazilians just all get knocked the fuck out like has happened before.
Or like 198. It was
Yeah,
like
whatever
Stipe
card that
and
was.
Yeah, all the
Yeah.
Brazilians lost.
Pretty wild, but yeah, I think that should be a fun scrap. I always like the 25ers because they're so goddamn active and they throw so much. It's just fun. Plus the scrambles are wild as shit at 25. Up next we got Max Griffin taking on
Elizu Zaleski dos Santos.
Yep, Elizu. Max Griffin, of course, is I think he last fought on the Nate Diaz fight? No, Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor 2 was when he fought Colby Covington, and Colby Covington wrestled the shit out of him until getting the TKO. And then Eric Montano, he got a win over back in November of last year, and he's taking on Capoeira, Elizu Zaleski dos Santos. Elizu's coming off the win over Lyman Good.
Lyman Steroid Good.
Yep, as well as the wins over Kita Nakamura and Omari Akhmedov. And his only loss in the UFC was to Nicholas Dalby on his first fight in the org, and it was a split decision. Which
yeah, I'm gonna go
scrappy.
with Dos Santos because Max Griffin hasn't fought in a while. Well, he fought last year, but before that he hadn't fought a year either. So I don't like his pacing. I don't know if either he just can't get fights or he's been hurt. I don't trust that.
Yeah,
I've seen him fight. He's talented, but I think I'm gonna go with the native Brazilian here to kind of get the nod. I think it's gonna go to the judges.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those where it's fucked up to kind of predict something that way, but like.
No, I think this fight very well could go to decision. I think the thing that's probably going to play in a lot in this fight is Griffin likes to come forward, and Dos Santos does not have a problem putting his back against the cage and circling. I'm not sure how much of the wrestling game Max Griffin is going to try to use in this, and I'm also not sure how well it would work against Dos Santos. I believe Zaleski's way better on the ground, but I don't know how. I haven't seen a ton of the wrestling of Max Griffin other than him getting wrestle fucked by Colby Covington. So it's kind of tough. Also, Zaleski has a bunch of good leg kicks, which he landed in the Lyman Good fight. Yeah, I'm probably going to go Dos Santos. The only thing that a little bit worries me is Max Griffin does hit hard as fuck. He plowed through, what's-his-face? Eric Montano. Just basically ran him over in their fight. And then, again, the Colby Covington wrestle fucking. And his only other notable loss recently was to Chidi Njokuani at Taji Palace back in 2015, which is a split decision, which pretty big deal going split decision with Chidi Njokuani, especially like a Tachi type environment. So I'm gonna go Zaleski, but I think that fight could be a lot tougher than not for him. Let's see. Up next, we got Shoeface Antonio Carlos Jr. taking on Jack Marshman. Jack Marshman, of course, the Welsh dude, or the dude from Welsh. Yeah, Welsh. I always fuck that up.
No, it's okay.
He's not. Wait, you saying Welshland isn't where Welsh people are from?
No, he's from Welsh. He's from Wales. He is Welsh from Wales.
Right? Hey, I know what the Mumbles Mile is, y'all. I know some Welsh shit.
Don't get it confused with Welch.
Yeah, no, Welch is Ari Shafir.
Yeah.
Anyway, so of course the Welshman, Jack Marshman, coming off the win over Ryan James and the loss to Thiago Santos. For that, he had the TKO over Magnus Siedenblad. He's facing off against Shoeface, who is a goddamn monster on the ground. Had a super dominant win over Eric Spicely. And got the win over Marvin Vittori before that. Which way are you leaning in this one?
I'm going Shoeface.
Yeah, me too.
He's got the height. He's got the size. I think Marshman's pretty undersized. Well, these guys are welterweights, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going Shoeface all the way, man. Oh, they're middleweights? Jesus
oh, that's
Christ.
Right. I forgot. Shoeface
oh,
is a middleweight.
God. Wow, yeah, I'm definitely going... Actually, he's only got 2 inches, but Marshman just looks small for the weight class. Maybe he's just not big.
Yeah, he might not cut as much weight.
Yeah. I know Marshman has some decent stand-up, but, yeah, I gotta go Shoeface, man.
Yeah, me too. I think Shoeface is probably just going to be a tough out for him. If Marshman can keep it on the feet and if Shoeface for some reason decides he wants to be a boxer all of a sudden, this could be a bad fight for him. But if at any point in time Shoeface gets the fight, like gets him clenched against the cage or gets him down, I think it's going to be a short night. And I just see Jack Marshman having trouble keeping Shoeface off of him. And God, his Antonio Carlos Jr.'s grappling has been getting so goddamn gnarly. It's just impressive. I think he has a win over Gary Tonin in submission.
I remember you
underground.
mentioned that one time because I picked against Carlos Jr. and you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, I think he got the win in submission underground over Gary Tonin, which is huge. And super impressive. So, yeah, dude's a crazy high-level black belt, and I think it's going to show in that fight. Let's see. Up next, we got Hakron Diaz versus... I somehow missed this one just now.
Wait,
Diaz.
do we have Vincent?
No, we missed this one. I skipped it on accident.
Oh, it's not even up.
Hakron Diaz versus Jared Flash Gordon. Jared Flash Gordon, tough-ass wrestler out of Renzo Gracie Academy. And coming off the win over Michael Quinones, where he wrestled the shit out of him before finishing him. And then Hakron Diaz, of course. Codeine-infused Jose Aldo, coming off the loss to Andre Fili with a tough decision. And then, the decision loss to Cub Swanson as well. Man, I think this will be either a really fun fight or a really brutal fight to get through.
Yeah, I've never seen Jared Gordon fight, so I'm gonna go Hakron Diaz because he's Brazilian, and it's probably gonna just be like one of those like, fuck, you have to watch it, and you're like, oh no, and it's gonna be like, and the winner by decision, Hakron Diaz.
I could see it.
All right.
I do think this fight's probably going to decision. The one thing I wonder is if... I think I'm leaning that Jared Gordon's going to get enough takedowns and top control to win this fight.
Yeah.
Hakron Diaz does have a good jiu-jitsu game, but Jared Gordon is out of Renzo Gracie's, and he wrestled the shit out of Michael Quinones in their fight. So if Hakron can keep this on the feet, I think it could be a tough out for Jared Gordon, and he could lose the decision. But I think he's going to get enough of the takedowns and take it on the judges' scorecards. Which, again, depending on how active both these guys are in this fight, it could be kind of a rough one to get through. But we will see. One that won't be a rough one to get through.
We got Vicente Luque versus our boy Nike Pierce.
Yep, Nike Pierce, a.k.a. Nico Price.
You have to go bowling, my cousin.
Yep. Fighting out of ATT Cape Coral, wherever the fuck that is. Cape Coral. Definitely not Corral.
Corral, yeah.
It's the Texas ATT.
Okay, Coral.
Florida.
I know.
Oh.
Florida.
You know, ATT is Florida. So, of course, Nico Price coming off that win over Alan Jouban, which is super impressive.
Knocked him the fuck out.
Yep.
Well, kind of, but...
And the wins over Brandon Thatch and Alex Morono, all really impressive. And then Vicente Luque, actually, is coming off of the win over Bilal Muhammad and the loss to Leon Edwards. Man, anytime you're beating Bilal Muhammad... Oh, that's right, he's the dude who starched Bilal Muhammad in the first round.
Yeah, he's from formerly known as Black Zillions.
That's right. This is the Henry Hoof Combat Academy or whatever it is now, yeah. Man, this is going to be a fun goddamn fireworks.
Yeah.
Fight.
Excuse me.
Oh, this is a tough one.
Yeah, I'm going with my boy Nike Pierce because I got him 2 times in a row. I'm gonna make it 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go that way too, man. Vicente Luque, it could be tough. Both these dudes hit hard as fuck.
Yeah, Vicente Luque has decent stand up, but Nike Pierce, man, he's been so fucking crisp in his boxing and his distance management. This guy is so sharp.
He looked fantastic in his last fight. And yeah, that win over Alan Jouban was dominant. I had Jouban actually in my fantasy league. And
Actually,
he
look at this
stole
fucking
some fucking points from me.
reach.
Yeah, he got crazy. He's wild. So it'll definitely be a fun fight, and I'm pretty goddamn hyped for it. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go with a boy Nike Pierce as well. So up next we have another goddamn slobber knocker.
That's right.
John Lineker taking on Chito Vera.
Right. I've been struggling all day to decide who I'm picking this one.
Yeah, me too. I mean, man, both these guys are so fucking tough and hit real hard. John Lineker coming off the loss to TJ, where TJ fucked him up.
He fucking broke his jaw and he kept fighting.
Yep, and that split decision win over John Dodson. And Chito Vera coming off the wins over Brad Pickett and Brian Kelleher. Which one are you leaning in this one? Not sure.
I think I'm gonna go Lineker decision.
That's probably the smart
Because
pick.
I just feel like since he survived his jaw getting broken and he was still not passed out against
And still
someone
throwing
like TJ,
bombs at TJ.
Marlon Vera's gonna try to submit him. But I'm pretty sure Lineker, if I remember, has decent bottom game.
He has a really good grappling game.
So yeah, I just gotta go Lineker. As much as I want to pick Chito, and I know he can pull something out of his ass probably, but yeah, I gotta go Lineker. I don't know if he'll knock out Chito, because Chito's pretty good at clinching up and recovering. I think he'll just get like a decision. Not easy, but he'll do something. He'll make something up.
I could see that for sure.
But if Chito wins, he could decision him. I don't think he'll knock out Lineker, but he can win off points. I feel like he's talented enough.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough decision though if he does get it. I
Especially
actually
against going to Brazilian. That's right.
I actually think he might take this. I'm gonna go Chito.
What method?
I think
of victory do you
Lineker.
think?
So I think Lineker's the smart pick here. I think Lineker probably by late TKO is probably the smart pick. I, however, think Lineker's chin can't last forever. And the dude just, his whole game plan is, I'm just going to throw punches, and hopefully you start throwing punches
is gonna
too.
Just target that formerly broken jaw?
So if Chito can, I just have a weird feeling that Cheeto's going to basically Brad Pickett John Lineker. I think he's going to catch him with a head kick when Lineker gets wild and starts trying to brawl, and then is gonna swarm him when he's rocked. But man, it's not the smart pick. But I could see that happening. I'm gonna go that. I really like Chito Vera, to be fair, which is probably a big part of the reason why I'm picking him. But it's gonna be a fun fight, man. They're both gonna come in there and throw goddamn bombs, and we'll see how long that lasts. Let's see, who else we got? We got Thiago Santos taking on Jack Hermanson, who looked good as fuck in his last fight. He had that really dominant win over Bradley Scott, as well as Alec Nicholson.
Alex the amazing racist Nicholson.
Yep. And the loss to Cesar Mutanch Ferreira via arm triangle, which, man, hard to argue with that, because Mutanch is a beast on the ground. He's taking on Thiago Santos, who's coming off the wins over Gerald Mearshart and Jack Marshman. And then the loss to Eric Spicely and Gegard. Who you liking in this one?
I think I like Jack Hermanson.
I 100% back that. I am for sure going with Hermanson in this.
And it's weird because I don't even really have any concrete reasoning behind it. It's just kind of like, I feel like in my mind I saw him fight recently and he just, I don't know.
He's been steamrolling dudes.
It's weird, yeah.
He's been steamrolling dudes on the...
Two finishes and...
Yeah, he's just been taking dudes down and fucking them up with...
I just remember him fucking someone up and we're like, that's the Joker, Jack Hermanson.
I think it was Bradley Scott on his last fight for what was it, Pettis versus Moreno card.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was the one in Mexico City.
That's right. Just 2 months ago. No.
Yeah, something like that. August. So
2 months ago. Yeah.
A little over. But yeah, Bradley Scott. That performance was super impressive. I think if he can get Thiago Santos down, he definitely wins this fight. If he can't get him down, Thiago Santos is tough as shit and throws bombs.
He does.
Which could be a problem. But I see Jack Hermanson just being too good at getting the fight to the ground, passing the guard, and throwing bombs like he's been doing. He's just been fucking dudes up with that. Like, not even fucking around. Just taking them down and beating the shit out of them.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to pick him to do that again. But if he has trouble getting Thiago Santos down, that could be a tough out. Up next, another great fucking fight. This is going to be a scrap. Francisco Trinaldo versus Jim Miller.
Jim Miller.
Man, what a goddamn fight. Trinaldo coming off a big layoff because of USADA.
That's right. Did he get flagged?
Yeah, he got popped. I don't remember. Some sketchy ass shit.
Chain supplements?
I mean, he's out of ATT, I believe. Let's just say he's boys with Yoel. And what's his face? There's always pictures of Trinaldo, Yoel, and
Lombard.
Yeah, Lombard.
Gotta be
together.
Yep. Checks out.
So of course Trinaldo's coming off that loss to Kevin Lee and the win over Paul Felder, which is tough as shit. Man, he's had a tough run.
Oh, to be fair, that's because he busted open Felder's eyebrow.
Yeah,
Felder
got
was winning
cut.
that fight. It was just, I think he just got cut.
Yeah. And Jim Miller, after getting his goddamn tick problem fixed.
Lyme disease.
Yeah. He is coming
that
off.
fixed, actually? Like, he's good to go?
I mean, as fixed as it's going to be.
Well, yeah.
It's at least diagnosed and he's working on it.
He's just glad he doesn't have, like, the Texas Lyme disease or whatever. I remember heard about that. That's where if you get that, you can't eat red meat. And that's fucked. So say goodbye to hamburgers and steak.
Yeah, that's brutal. So he's coming off the losses by decision to Dustin Poirier and Anthony Pettis, both of which were tough fights. Especially that Poirier fight. That was tough as hell. Man, this is going to be a scrappy fight. Who do you like in this one?
I like Trinaldo, but that's because he's on my fantasy squad, and I'm always biased as fuck towards my fantasy boys.
True. Fantasy boys. That's some Jack Slack type shit right there.
Yeah. So I got to go with Francisco Trinaldo on this one. No reasoning whatsoever. It's up to you. Well, I don't know if he has better jiu-jitsu than Jim Miller, because I know Jim Miller's pretty fucking savvy.
Yep. Jim Miller says the only thing he likes kicking, he almost likes kicking people as much as he likes submitting them.
But I imagine he has about the same or better than jiu-jitsu, because I remember Kevin Lee made a big deal about submitting Trinaldo. So
yeah, Trinaldo's really tough on the ground and has really good wrestling. Yeah, I'm gonna lean Trinaldo in this as well. The only thing that makes me a little nervous is is the suspension. Although wait, he fought in 27 in March. Am I mixing him up with somebody else?
Probably thinking of Thiago someone. I don't know.
Goddamn Brazilians make this so hard to remember which ones get popped. I thought it was Trinaldo, but I could be wrong. I might be fucking that up. If I am, I apologize, Trinaldo, because you're a beast either way. But, yeah, I might be fucking that up. I might be mixing him up with another tough Brazilian wrestler. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go Trinaldo. I think this is a tough matchup for Miller. They're both gonna come forward. They're both gonna throw a lot. I think Trinaldo is gonna be the bigger dude and probably land the bigger shots.
Yeah.
The only thing that worries me a little bit is if he gasses, it could be problems for him. But I think he'll be able to put enough pressure on Jim Miller and put him against the fence enough to get the decision win. Pedro Munoz taking on Rob Font. Pedro Munoz is coming off of
he fought recently?
Yeah, he's coming off that win to Damon Stasiak and went over Justin Scoggins. And then he had that loss to Jimmy Rivera back in 2015. It was a minute ago. And Rob Font out of Team Sitjodong is coming off the wins over Silva de Andrade and Matt Schnell.
Wait, that was like a catch weight.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's the one where Schnell blew weight, right?
Yeah, I think it was like 131 or 132 or something weird like that.
Yeah. Or 141, you mean?
Oh, yeah, that's right. They ballooned up.
Yep. So which way are you leaning in this one?
I think I like Munoz because I remember his jiu-jitsu is fucking real good.
It's nasty.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking him initially.
I believe he was a no-gi champ
I
at some
know
point.
Font has good stand-up, but dude, I just gotta go with the jiu-jitsu guy because I know jiu-jitsu's that much better.
Yeah, man, this is tough.
I'm going with Munoz.
It's a tough fight.
Font's a scrappy. Oh shit! Font's a scrappy motherfucker too.
Super scrappy, solid wrestling. Also has a good jiu-jitsu game. Man, I don't know which way I'm leaning on this. I'm having trouble picking against ATT guys lately.
Yeah.
Top team's been so fucking good. Man. And Pedro Munoz is a beast. Yeah, I'm gonna go Pedro Munoz. I honestly don't know what to think of this fight. I could see this one going either way. They're both super fucking scrappy. Pedro Munoz, though, coming out of ATT, I gotta imagine his wrestling is sharp as fuck right now. And I think that could be a big factor in this fight, counter wrestling or regular wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta go him. Rob Font, I think, might take it if they go late, but even then, I'm still probably gonna have to lean Munoz overall. I think it'll be a fun fight, but it's not gonna be a goddamn slobber knocker like Lineker Vera. Although, what is? Speaking of,
we've got the co-main event of the evening.
Yep. Speaking of wild
Damian
fights,
Maia versus Colby Covington, who is on my fantasy team, but I'm going with Damian Maia.
Are you?
Oh yeah.
I'm
not like super confident.
Yeah.
But
how do you think he gets it?
Submission, rear naked choke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know Covington supposedly has. Well, I don't know if he has just good wrestling as Tyron, because I have no fucking clue. I didn't watch them. I didn't watch wrestling tape. I don't watch wrestling in general. A lot of wrestlers can boast how much they're good at wrestling. Yada, yada, yada. You know, All-American, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
There's different scales to that, I'm sure. Just look at, was it Kale Sanderson or Kyle Sanderson? I can't remember how you said that.
I think it's Kale.
Yeah, Kale, the guy who was like fucking 159-0 and beat DC like in fucking back in DC senior year at Oklahoma State. That dude's insane and won like gold. I don't know. That dude's nuts. He's probably the best wrestler of all time, arguably.
Yeah, up there.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if he's on a scale like that. But either way, he went to Oregon or Oregon State, one of those Northwestern colleges. So definitely a good fucking wrestler. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gives Maia trouble as far as stuffing the takedowns.
Yeah.
But I just feel like he's not as good as Woodley. But I don't know. See, I just... It's weird. Like, would it surprise me if Covington won? Probably not. If he could stuff as many takedowns as Woodley did and just keep it on the feet, because he probably could strike better than Maia. No offense, Maia is not a good striker.
Hey, to be fair, as I believe it was the MMA Deprestus once said, Conor Rebush, or actually no, it was Evil Greg Jackson, Phil McKenzie said, did they ever call Colby Covington K1 Colby? Because they definitely used to call him K1 Damien, or K1 Maia, which, to be fair, was super sarcastic, because every time that dude tried to kickbox, he would get lit the fuck up. That's when Maia started working with guys like Frankie Edgar and improving his wrestling.
Maia is the underdog, man. You know what? I see why, though. Like, I feel like Covington should be the favorite. In this.
I think a big reason why Colby's the favorite, though, is because he's talking so much.
Yeah.
And because Maia's coming off like a pretty unimpressive performance.
Oh yeah, it was. Well, it wasn't terrible. It's just he couldn't do anything.
Right, he just didn't do anything. Other than
or he couldn't do anything.
Well, he didn't do anything after he got all his shots like stuffed.
To be fair, he could at least try to throw. Well, he can't. Well.
Yeah, no, he could have, but that's also how you get knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
Especially by Tyron. So, yeah, I think a lot of this fight's going to come down to who implements the wrestling game and how does it work.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Fuck.
I think Maia's probably the smart pick. I'm actually gonna go Colby. I've actually gotten talked into Colby. I really want to
go with Colby.
Here's the thing that I think is going to play a big factor is the fact that he's training with Jorge Masvidal. Masvidal, I feel like, learned a lot from that fight. And I know Masvidal was studying the Damian Maia footage of Tyron.
Oh, of course.
And yeah, I don't remember if it was Masvidal or if it was Tyron who talked about the reason why Masvidal got caught is because he was circling, when he was stuffing a takedown, he was circling like a full, more than 90 degrees.
Did that leave an opening for Maia?
Then that way Maia can try and pull guard on that leg, whereas Tyron said he always basically hit 90 degrees and went straight out. Small stuff like that, which if Colby can implement that kind of a game plan and stuff enough takedowns, like Maia will gas and Colby can fuck him up on the feet. Also, Colby's wrestling is real goddamn good, which does make me a bit nervous because if he just shoots in for a takedown, like the odds that he doesn't end up getting sweeped at some point by Maia with that fucking half guard sweep he loves is tough. So I'm going to go Colby probably by third round TKO, second round TKO, something like that. But I could also see Maia just subbing the shit out of him.
I don't know. I'm not confident. I'm just going to go Maia.
Yeah. The only thing I hope that this doesn't happen is I hope this is not a 3-round fight, because it could be a rough 3-round fight if that's the case.
Either way, I hope Covington wins, though. And it's weird.
Well, yeah, because of fantasy stuff.
Because if he wins, then that means I probably win the quarter.
Yeah. I mean, and you might win the quarter anyway, because there's some bad picks in that league.
Well, I don't even know who second place has. I think second place has Machida or Brunson.
Yeah, I think they have Brunson.
Fuck.
No, we'll talk about it in a second.
See.
So, I'm going Colby, but you got Maia. Should be a fun fight. And then main event, somebody get knocked fuck out. Lyoto Machida or Derek Brunson. If no one gets knocked out in this fight, holy shit is this fight gonna suck. This is the classic definition of either someone's going to sleep or it is going to be a 5-round staring fest.
Yeah, I really wanted to go Brunson because of his first round knockout power.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going Lyoto because I can't remember the last time Brunson fought. Wait. Oh no, dude, he fought fucking Anderson. He was a counter striker.
Yeah, he arguably won that fight.
In my opinion, he fucking beat him. That was bullshit. So, actually, you know what? I changed that. I'm actually going Brunson.
He also fucked up Daniel Kelly.
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually going Brunson. Now I think about that because Lyoto is pretty goddamn similar to Anderson Silva. Now I think about it. As far as his counter striking.
That's funny because I'm going Lyoto because Lyoto is also very similar to Robert Whittaker.
Oh, with counter wrestling?
No, with the fact that if Brunson just sprints forward like he did on Robert Whittaker, that is literally and runs
I remember that
directly
just,
into a straight left hand.
Yeah.
That is literally Lyoto's best shit is when you run at him all crazy and he can throw a left hand down the pipe. So I think a lot of this is going to depend on what Lyoto looks like after coming back off the suspension.
Off the juice? Just kidding.
Yeah, the fucking juice.
Off the urine.
Goddamn DHEA or whatever. Fucking innocuous bullshit.
Off the super piss.
Yeah, the super piss. It's literally like a fucking... I think it was like I don't even want to get into it. It's nothing. It's goddamn nothing. It's like caffeine. Anyway, I'm going Lyoto. I just don't trust Brunson not to get frustrated and run forward at him.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
Which is all Lyoto wants.
This is literally one of my garbage picks.
To be fair, Brunson could absolutely come out and steamroll Machida. Machida got fucked up by a couple people recently, including Yoel Romero, who dropped death on him.
Oh, yeah.
And, oh my god, it was brutal. Also, it's a 5-rounder, and Lyoto's been out for a year, so... Depends on it. It could play in a couple of different ways. I'm just gotta lean Lyoto because
if he drinks a whole gallon of Gatorade and then drinks his piss, he gets double the electrolytes. So
that's right.
Good to go.
Yeah, he's gonna be electrolyte. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
Cool, man. Well, I think this is gonna be a fun card. Well, let me put it this way: this has the possibility of being a fun card. It could be a fucking snoozer, also. But I'm hoping it's going to be another wild Brazilian. In case it's a
snoozer, bring a goddamn pillow.
That's right. Or bring a lot of booze is what I would do.
NyQuil.
If it wasn't Sober October. But good news is, next week we'll be back, and it's not going to be Sober October. So
it's going to be
heads up, I might be
best
trashed.
card of the fucking year.
Yep, and I might be trashed for it. So we will be back next week with our 217 breakdown. I'm sure there's going to be a fuckload of podcasts that come out next week. Because everyone on Big Fight Card Weeks tends to do big old shows. So we will have all that coverage coming up. As always, you guys can shoot us an email if you have any questions or any podcast recommendations to christhesoundofviolence.com or tsovpod on Twitter. You can also check out the website, thesoundofviolence.com. You can subscribe on YouTube or subscribe to our show on iTunes, Stitcher, fucking Podcast Addict, wherever you listen to your podcast, we're probably there. Except for SoundCloud, because SoundCloud's a bitch, and they charge too much. Eventually we'll get a SoundCloud page, I'm just lazy. So, go and hit that up. And also, let us know fucking podcast recommendations. We're always looking for them. So we'll wrap this here, but Chris, did you have anything else you wanted to plug? Are you doing any articles or anything soon?
Not for us.
No, I know. I meant for your other stuff.
Like at work?
Yeah, you want to plug anything?
Just visit Pacific San Diego Magazine online if you wanted to see some event pieces I've put together. There's a lot of good stuff. Anyone in the San Diego County area, or if you're close enough in San Diego County, Orange County, you want to make the drive down, a lot of good stuff happening in downtown San Diego this weekend for Halloween. A lot of good things in the gas lamp, so I just want to plug that.
That's right, and we got San Diego Beer Week next week.
Yep, San Diego Beer Week starts in November 3rd.
Yeah.
It goes all the way to November 13th. It's going to be spread all the way out through San Diego County. You got Stone Brewing, you got Modern Times involved,
Chili
you got Ballast
Cook-Off.
Point, you got Belching Beaver, you got the Chili Cook-Off in North Park. So, dude, there's a lot of shit going down.
Doing stuff.
In San Diego. Fucking this weekend and all in the first week of November. So
it's a good month to be in San Diego.
Even if you're in LA, fuck it, and you want to get away from the your Dodgers are probably in the World Series. I don't know if you like baseball. Save the $300-$400. Go down to San Diego. There you fucking go. That's all I gotta say.
Perfect. So yeah, check all of that out. You guys can catch some articles Chris did on shit to do down here. And we will be back next week. But until next time, everybody, go do something decadent. Yeah.